I apologize, I haven't memorized all this, but I'm going to be kind of reading from my cheat sheet here. But actually, as Bob said, I'm the president of the Massapog Sportsman's Club. Been president for the last 2 years, been involved with the club for some time now. When Dinah first called and asked me to speak today, I was a little surprised, to be honest. There were so many people involved in this project, and I just couldn't think, why me? There were just so many people that probably have a better perspective on things. When I got involved, I was thrown into the middle of a substantially large logistic project, I guess you could put it that way. I'm an engineer, so logistics is right up my alley, but you know, it took years to complete, and it took lawyers, surveyors, town meetings. I thought to myself, with all this, that anybody else could have come up here and talked to you folks, and probably given a better comprehensive account of what really went on. And you know, Mass Audubon working with Massapog Sportsman's Club. But the real reason isn't that we're here. The real reason I'm here isn't to discuss project management and logistics. I'm here to talk about the effect these efforts have had on the club, myself, and others in the community, and hopefully generations to come. So the Massapog Sportsman's Club has existed for over 50 years now, and the bylaws written by the founders starts with this statement. The purpose of the club shall be to promote the interest of legitimate sport with rod and gun, to support and enforce laws for the protection and preservation of fish and game, to stimulate and encourage good fellowship among sportsmen, to participate in conservation projects, to instruct and encourage sportsmanship among younger members of the community, to acquire such land and property and conduct related activities as may be deemed necessary for the fulfillment of the above purposes. So I really believe this project fit into the vision that Massapog's founders had in mind. Our first goal as a sportsman's club was to ensure that the use of our skeet and trap ranges would be preserved. Our ranges are some of the best in the area, and the club has trained some national champions in our sport. We also want to ensure that the existing trail system would be preserved and ultimately be managed by the Conservation Commission. We have many members that don't participate in our shooting sports on a regular basis, but instead find the club to be a getaway from the daily grind. It's a place where on a short walk they can enjoy the trees and vegetation, the sound of the brook rolling over the rocks, and the assorted wildlife either flying overhead or running across the path in front of you. It's a place where seeing a deer is almost guaranteed in the last few years, and evidence of other wildlife is just around the corner. Beyond the needs of the club, there's actually a personal aspect of this project for me. I grew up as a neighbor to the club. My father was an active member very early on, and that's where he taught me how to shoot as a young boy, and we took afternoon fishing trips to the brook. I remember catching some of my first fish there with my brother. We'd go on hiking trips and climb Devil's Rock is out there. My brother and I would go off for hours walking the trails as if we were some great explorers. We'd make our own maps and write down what animals and birds we had discovered. It was very rare that we would come across another person. It was quiet, and if you let your mind wander, as kids always do, it could have been any period in time. I remember that there were dinosaurs in the woods, and there were monsters that were trying to get us. The fact that Devil's Rock and Devil's Brook was there surely meant that there were some kinds of monsters out there that knights needed to slay and attack. I'm married now. I have 2 boys, 4 and 7, and we've taken many trips out there. They caught their first fish in the club pond. They've climbed Devil's Rock. They've seen deer, coyotes, woodpeckers, frogs, kernels, the list goes on. They've learned what skunk cabbage is. My wife has learned how difficult it is to get the smell of real swamp mud out of what used to be nice, clean socks. They're too young to get involved in many of the opportunities the Sportsman's Club has to offer right now. But when the time is right, I plan on exposing them to the responsibility of target shooting and the focus and concentration required of the sport. By working with the Audubon Society, I have more confidence that my dad and I will be able to share with them what my dad shared with me. And I have further confidence that they'll be able to share the same experiences with their children and their children's children should they decide to. as I look back on this project from the perspective of what it really means to me and why I might be a good candidate to come up and speak to you, I have a couple different perspectives that I hope give you an idea of what we really accomplished here. The final element of the project has to do with the effect it has had and will have on the community. And this part, I really struggled with trying to pull together something for today. If you do a search about Devil's Rock or Devil's Brook on the web, you'll find that very little comes up. There's not too much about the area. There aren't articles in the newspapers about the place. I haven't seen it marked as a landmark in any hiking guide or anything like that. But I need to share this with you. Just the other day, I was out taking the pictures that you've seen during this presentation. It was a quick jaunt out into the woods, probably an hour altogether. But while I was out there, I ran into an older couple exploring the trails. We came across each other twice while I was out there and exchanged greetings. And upon our second meeting, I asked them if they needed any help, and I told them I was taking pictures for a presentation regarding the preservation of the land. They said to me that they had never been out here before, and never knew it existed. They said that this place was a real gem. They had entered the land through one of the streets just behind the center of town. They were really enjoying themselves and admiring Devil's Rock. I wish them well and to enjoy the scenery. My guess is that they weren't looking for dinosaurs or hidden caves from prehistoric times, but to them it'll be something else. But I think they now have an appreciation, and I'll probably see them again there someday. They have an appreciation that I invite all of you to come down and acquire. I do want to give some special thanks to Bob Ford, Bob Wilbur, the Audubon Society, Greg Meister from the Sharon Conservation Commission, and Peg and Dan Argambo were back there, because this is not a quick or an easy project. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to have worked with on this, because I don't think that we would have succeeded without them. So, thank you.